Good morning. I'd like Terry Birtles to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance this morning.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the November 2nd, 2017 meeting of the Shawnee County Board of Commissioners. My name is Bob Archer. I currently have the honor of serving as chair of the commission, and I represent District 3 alongside Commissioner Shelley Bueller, who represents District 1, and Commissioner Kevin Cook, who represents District 2. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
First item of business this morning, please.
Item 3, consent agenda.
Are there questions or comments on the consent agenda? It was rather long. There were 10 items. Any concerns or questions about consent this morning?
I do not. I'll move approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the consent agenda by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item 4, new business. A, County Clerk number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Commissioners, this morning we have vouchers that total $1,615,188.24. The highlights out of the voucher report are JADO contribution of $646,369.66. Holding accounts with the state of Kansas of $193,532.55. Health insurance premiums of $160,740.21. Solid waste, $111,387. Parks and Recreation, $68,616.93. And then Department of Corrections of $62,314.18. I have no questions regarding the vouchers and would move for their approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the voucher report by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
There are no correction orders.
Next item, please.
Item A3, consider approval and authorization of 2018 cereal malt beverage licenses for A, resolution number 2017-60, TJ's Express, located at 5305 Southwest Topeka Boulevard, and B, resolution number 2017-61, Dillon Store number 37, located at 6829 Southwest 29th Street. And these are, like I said, you know, the last, or a couple meetings ago, this is the start of our cereal malt beverage season, and both of these are renewals. They have, the townships were notified. We didn't hear anything back from them. The taxes have been paid. County Councilor has reviewed both of these. KBI they also do send us a report, and they had a passing health inspection. So I just ask that you approve this, so again, they can sell their cereal malt beverage.
Okay, very good. Any questions regarding?
I do not. I'll move to adopt the resolution.
Resolutions.
Resolutions. Thank you.
Second.
Motion made to adopt by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item A4, consider approval of resolution number 2017-62, authorizing the destruction of payroll documents 2011 and prior. And Commissioners, this item is normally a consent agenda item, but I thought it would, since it's on the regular agenda, it's might make people shiver a little bit when they see that the county clerk is destroying payroll documents. But we have a Kansas State Historical Society. By statute, they are the keepers and the dictators of what documents have to or can be destroyed or should be destroyed, and they have a timetable. And these payroll documents, they have, some of them are 3 years, some of them are 4 years, some of them are 5 years. And we have, you know, I keep my document right by my side. It's there all the time. We have the interweb. We have a document for all the departments. And Shawnee County, long before I ever got here, set up a procedure that there's this easily worded resolution that we have, you know, we have in our office, or they can get from us, And every department should be doing this prior to destruction of any of their records. They should be putting this before you, and like I said, they normally show up as a consent agenda item, but this is something that way we can track if we have, and, have something that we can get rid of. In our case, we are getting rid of old W-4s. We have something like that they fill out, that can be destroyed after 4 or 5 years, both by IRS guidelines and the Kansas state statutes. But say a W-2, those are kept in their personnel file, and they have to be kept for up to, I think it's 5 years past that person's, leaving the county. So in the case of a couple of my employees, that's a long time. And the general payroll documents have to be kept in some manner up to 4 for 40 years. So, so it's not like I'm just going through and just shredding everybody. The rest of your stuff is safe, that I'm still charged with. But we do have, that this is the procedure. So that's what it's for. And you'll see, we've had accounts payable items, and we have fishing game stuff, so, and all the other departments are going to be doing the same thing, right? Sure.
Well, at least I think you've put everybody on notice.
Right. And it's, I think with the, we had the earlier discussion, with the shredding document, or the contracts and stuff that we have, it's not that they're just getting rid of this stuff because they want to. They're doing it according to the law. They're just, some of them are just missing this step of putting it on the agenda, because there actually is, in this book, or in the document that's online, that there is you have to keep these documents, the destruction documents, for 5 years. So it's kind of important, in that respect. So that's what we're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate the
Okay.
information,
Sure.
Cindy. I'll move to adopt the resolution.
Second.
Motion made to adopt by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Again, thank you, Cindy.
Sure.
Next item, please.
Item B, Bond Council, number 1, consider approval of Resolution 2017-63, authorizing the execution and delivery of first supplements to a 2012 lease purchase agreement and trust agreement in connection with the sale, issuance, and delivery of the county's refunding certificates of participation, Series 2017, to effectuate an interest cost reduction by the prepayment and redemption of certain outstanding certificates of participation, Series 2012.
Good morning, Bob Perry. In 2012, we issued $14,500,000 of certificates of participation. The proceeds from those basically financed the changeover from the analog-based communications first responder system to the digital first responder system, and about $1 million plus of that, I think it was $1.1 million or so, acquired the facility that the election commissioners at in Emeritus Investment Corp., which is an underwriting group that we've been using, has kept Betty and I informed as far as what's available and what the opportunities are out there to refund some of those 2012 COPs in order to reduce the interest cost. Well, that had popped up last week. They sold $3,455,000 of refunding COPs. This authorizes the issuance and delivery of those COPs to the purchasers, and basically we've reduced the interest cost on the 2012 maturities of 24, 25, and 26 by a little over $190,000. So we've saved about $200,000.
And our debt rating improved.
Which surprised me but pleased me. I was convinced that regardless of how well you guys were doing and Betty was doing, they were not going to change simply because of the nature of our underlying economy. And I was wrong.
Questions for Mr. Perry?
I have none. I would move for approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve the resolution by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, Bob. I'll
Thank
get you all those documents beginning of next week.
All right, excellent. Thank you again, Bob. Next item, please.
Item C, Planning, number 1, consider approval of Resolution 2017-64, amending the district zoning classification from Residential Reserve District to Planned Unit Development District, Light Industrial Use Group on property at the southeast corner of Northwest 54th Street and Northwest Button Road in Soldier Township for 4 10,500 square foot metal storage buildings.
Barry Beagle, Shawnee County Planning Department. This request appeared before the Planning Commission on October 9th and was unanimously recommended for approval by a vote of 6-0. No one appeared in opposition. No formal protests have been filed subsequent to the public hearing.
Questions from Mr. Beagle? I did notice that on the other side of Button Road there, Sterling Chase subdivision, which is a very, very nice neighborhood, and there was no protest at all from anyone in that neighborhood?
None.
Huh, interesting. Very interesting.
If I might,
Yes, Commissioner Cook?
already in the neighborhood or in that area is metal storage. So this is not a new endeavor. This is an expansion of what is already there. Is that correct?
Correct.
And so doesn't that in part contribute to why there might not be an objection, is that it's something that people are already familiar with and we're not changing the character of the entire neighborhood?
I can't certainly speak on behalf of the neighborhood that was notified. In this particular case, you are correct. The 17 acres immediately adjacent to this tract is zoned heavy industrial, has over 180,000 square feet of storage space within it. This proposal as a PUD, which they were encouraged to follow, provides for, the expansion of the existing facility, but with use limitations and design standards that were intended to minimize conflict with that of the adjoining neighborhood. So whether they saw it in terms of the PUD and the restrictions that were placed within the PUD, or the fact that Frontier Enterprise is already an established entity within the area, I can't really say for sure why, but...
And isn't that really the key, is to find something that's not going to be in total conflict with what the neighborhood and the characteristics of the neighborhood are?
Absolutely.
And so if we were looking at storage units in other parts of the county that would be in conflict with the existing neighborhoods, there might be objections.
Correct. As was indicated in the staff report, as well as recognized by the Planning Commission, the storage facility had existed as a grain storage facility originally, and it was in non-compliance with county zoning regulations back through the 1960s. In 1970, they were granted a rezoning of the property to the I-2 Heavy Industrial District so as to bring that use, the 17 acres of Frontier Enterprises today, into compliance with the zoning regulations. And again, this predates Frontier Enterprises. The circumstances at the time were such that this area was predominantly agricultural in character. We had not seen Sterling Chase or any of that type of development in this area. There was a railroad that ran up alongside the east boundary of this property that afforded rail access to the property. There was over 100 acres of industrial zoning to the south of this property on Button Road. And those were all factors that contributed to the reclassification or the judgment to reclassify the 17 acres to heavy industrial at the time. Well, since then, circumstances have dramatically changed. The character of the neighborhood has changed, and that is developing primarily for residential land use. The Rock Island and Pacific Railway went away, and the rail lines were eventually removed. The 100 acres of industrial zoning to the south of this site was reclassified back to RR1. So basically, this is the 17 acres that comprises Frontier Enterprises is a white elephant, if you will, in a way, in the neighborhood. It shares no similar zoning with anything else around it. And so, yeah, by today's standard, based upon the character of this area, we would say that, no, this would not be an ideal location for this type of use. But given the unique nature by which the existing 17 acres was rezoned back in 1970, it exists. We do not see that as setting the tone of development for that area. But, we see, that we can further isolate it by virtue of this PUD, allowing for this expansion, but with minimal harm to the surrounding neighborhood. That was a long, drawn-out explanation, but basically, no. If somebody wanted to do something similar within a residential context, it would be a more difficult proposition to accomplish.
And Commissioner, if I might?
Yes, of course.
As we move from open ground to metal buildings or buildings being built, what considerations do we make to drain water flow, water drainage, and especially considering we have a residential neighborhood directly to the west?
The property will be required to be platted as a result of this request. They've already initiated that process with the city of Topeka since it's in the 3-mile radius. As part of that plat, a standard drainage report is required, so they have to take a look at, okay, what is going to be the effect of stormwater runoff in conjunction with this, and they have to accommodate whatever requirements there may be associated with that stormwater runoff.
And so this is also an example of a development where zoning would come before the county, but the development goes before the city.
Well, with regard to the plat, that would be true. With regard to zoning, that strictly remains the province of Shawnee County.
So we have both entities working on one development.
Correct.
Great system. No questions further.
Commissioner Bueller, anything to add?
No.
Motion,
I'll make a motion to approve the request for the reclassification.
Second.
motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye, opposed no, motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item D, Sheriff's Office, number 1, acknowledge receipt of correspondence from Sheriff Jones regarding the purchase of 75 batteries to replace the current stock of handheld radio batteries at a total cost of $5,250 with funding from the 2017 budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. The surplus of batteries that was originally ordered when the communication system for Shawnee County was purchased in 2012 has been depleted. Therefore, this is the request. Right now, we're trying to outfit as many deputies as we can in the Sheriff's Office with new batteries for their portable radios.
Questions for Jeremy?
And then I'll move to acknowledge receipt.
Second.
Motion made to acknowledge receipt of the correspondence by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Jeremy.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Always good to see you.
Good to see you too,
All
Commissioners.
right, thank you. Next item, please.
Item E, Parks and Recreation, number 1, consider authorization and execution of Contract C 383-2017 with Bartlett and West for design-build renovations to the Lake Shawnee Junior Pond at a cost of 9% of the cost of the work, in addition to the cost of design services of $15,000, with funding from the Parks and Recreation Building Maintenance Fund and the Shawnee County Parks and Recreation Foundation.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Knight, Parks and Recreation. This item has been, similar item has been before you a couple times before. This is a contract with the, Bartlett and West to, identifies the cost for their, the construction supervision, and it also sets a design cost. If you approve this today, what will happen is Terry Burtles or someone from Parks and Recreation will then sit down with them and develop a guaranteed maximum price for a project that will be paid partially by Shawnee County and partially by the Shawnee County Parks and Rec Foundation. Be happy to answer any other questions you may have.
Questions for Mr. Knight regarding the contract?
Don't have any.
Okay.
I'll move approval of the contract.
Second.
Motion made to approve the contract by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye, opposed no, motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item E2, consider approval of request to award bid to ACT Global Americas Incorporated for the replacement of the artificial turf on the Jerry Robertson Field located at the Bettis Family Sports Complex at a cost of $200,314, with an alternative one-day expense of $3,000 to repair rock base, with funding from the Capital Outlay Fund and authorization and execution of Contract C 384-2017 for same.
Commissioners, Sean Osborne, our Outdoor Adventure Superintendent, is here to answer any detailed questions you have. But this is, if you'll recall, this was a request from the Capital Outlay Fund at the end of last year to replace the artificial turf on Jerry Robertson Field. We estimated that to be somewhere around $250,000. After the bids process came through, the prices are very pleasing and lower than that. We've had several people review the bids to ensure we're getting what we wanted out of this bid, and that recommendation is in front of you with ACT Global. Be happy to answer any other questions you may have.
I did have a quick question. In reading the information, it says an alternative one daily expense of $3,000. Is that a one-day expense, total expense? Because if it's a daily expense, I'd like to know, how many days we're talking about and what the process is going to be.
With going back through the contract and what was put there, basically, in my understanding, that is an expense if they're not showing up, and we're tracking that. So that, like, if the weather is bad, it falls back with them because they have an allocated time to get this in, the project in. Am I not? Okay.
Now, it says there's an alternative one daily expense of $3,000 to repair rock face. I'm just asking for clarification of what that is.
The rock base,
Right,
okay, the rock base is underneath the turf.
okay,
Basically, when they installed, they're looking at it from a standpoint of this group's coming in, the rock base that was in there before the group that came in. If there is something in there that they have to replace, then that's what the charge will be. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you were asking on the other part.
but it's a
Yeah.
one-time expense of $3,000?
Yep.
Okay. Commissioner
No,
Blue?
that's,
I might ask our counselor
Okay.
to weigh in. I think I found the relevant section, but
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Crow, Shawnee County Councilor. I'll credit Commissioner Cook with this. It's under Article 8, Section 8.1. It says, when you go down the list of bullet points, one of the items says repair base to correct soft spots and low spots at the daily rate of $3,000 per day. So it sounds like the $3,000 is a daily rate as needed, as what will be needed to repair the base before they put down the turf. Does that sound right?
So it could be open-ended, is
I was
that?
going to say, is there a maximum
Yeah.
daily?
Yeah, you need to, why don't we,
Could I make a suggestion that we
Yeah.
defer consideration of
Yeah.
this item for a week?
I agree.
Make sure.
And make sure we know what we're getting into. And
Second.
Commissioner Cook can sign off on the details.
we'll make sure there's limitations on that.
Yeah, that concerns me when we have something open-ended like that. I don't like it.
I'll second your motion to defer for a week.
Okay. Motion made to defer by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item E3, consider authorization and execution of contract C 385-2017 with Visit Topeka to organize the 2017 National Junior College Athletic Association's Men's and Women's Half Marathon Championships, set for November 18th, set up on November 17th at Lake Shawnee, with costs offset by a special event fee of $1,180.
Commissioners, John Knight, Parks and Recreation again. I'd like to turn this item over to Sean Osborne, who has a couple guests here to explain a new event that Shawnee County Parks and Rec and Visit Topeka is working on, so.
Good morning, Commissioners. Sean Osborne, Parks and Recreation. Not to correct John, but it's not necessarily a new event. We did this back in 2015. And the group NJCAA loved it so much that they came back to Visit Topeka with Mike Bell and wanted to pursue this again at Lake Shawnee because of the sites and everything at Lake Shawnee and the safety that goes involved to being able to run the trail and the half marathon that takes place. I'll let Mike kind of explain a little bit more on the event.
Thank you, Commissioners. Good morning.
Good morning.
The National Junior College is going to hold their half marathon. We're expecting roughly a little under 200 runners that'll be coming from throughout the nation to Topeka, Kansas. This event will be a pretty quick event. The half marathon, we estimate, will be ran between 8 o'clock and 10:30. It'll be done by 10:30. So it's a pretty quick event, but we'd love to have people come out and see all these runners from across our nation competing. So I stand for any further questions.
Very good.
I'll move approval of the contract.
Second.
Can I ask a quick question? In light of recent events and the world we live in today, have we talked to emergency management about projects and events like this, just to keep them informed and see if they've got any advice?
We didn't per se on this
Okay.
event, but we have started the conversations with the Huff and Puff event and
Okay.
started with Dusty. And most of, like Spirit of Kansas, we're moving in that direction where we work closely with them so that we provide a safe atmosphere
Yeah,
in the events we produce.
It's a sad state that we have to do that, but I
Exactly.
think I think to exhibit good judgment, it'd be a good idea to make sure that we work closely with our EM staff. So, did you move to approve?
Motion made by Commissioner Bueller.
I think I did, yeah.
Seconded by myself. Madam Clerk, is that correct? All right.
Thank you for the refresher course. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Sean. Next item, please.
Item F, Public Works Solid Waste. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of Contract C 386-2017, amendment to Contract C 101-2015 with Clean Harbors Environmental to provide for the collection, transport, and disposal of household hazardous waste material collected by Shawnee County Solid Waste Department at an anticipated cost of $70,000 to $80,000 per year, with funding from the Solid Waste Fund.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tom Blanco, Public Works and Solid Waste. This is a solid waste item. As mentioned in the memo, any of the materials we collect at our household hazardous waste facility, we have to have them properly disposed. We've been in a contract with Clean Harbors over the past couple of years to dispose of it. This is just a renewal, one-year extension, which is in accordance with the original contract. And we have the ability to adjust fees that they charge as their fees go up. We have sent this on to the Counselor's Office for review and approval, and they have signed off on it. The reason we don't know exactly how much we're going to be paying is that we don't know how much material is going to be brought in. Last year, I think we spent in the $60,000 range. But as you're aware, our numbers and our participation amounts have been increasing nearly every month. So that's why the estimate of $70,000, $80,000. So Clean Harbors has been doing a good job for us, and it is our recommendation that the amendment be approved.
Questions? I'll move to approve the contract.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item F2, consider approval of request to repair a solid waste truck at an estimated cost of $45,965.16 by a sole source vendor, MHC Kenworth of Salina, Kansas.
Commissioners, Tom Block again, Public Works and Solid Waste. This too is a solid waste item. As you may recall, several months ago, we had an incident with one of our crews in which they had a rather significant traffic accident in which they had rolled one of our trucks off of a interchange at Highway 75 and US 24. After extensive deliberation of whether or not it would be worth to repair it, this truck was essentially nearly a brand-new truck, and we paid about $189,000 for it at the time. So I've come to the conclusion I think it'd be best to have it repaired, even though it is a significant cost, of $45,000, or estimated to be $45,965.16. And it would be sole source because it would be going back to the manufacturer's representative of who we purchased it from. As mentioned in the memo, this would be coming from the Solid Waste Fund, so no tax funds would be utilized for this repair. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Are there questions for Mr. Block?
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. That motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item F3, consider authorization and execution of Contract C 387-2017, Amendment Number 1 to Contract C 262-2016 with Finney and Turnip Seed Transportation and Civil Engineering, LLC, providing professional design services for the widening of Southeast 29th Street Bridge over Deer Creek, to add design services only for the improvement and widening of the KTA Bridge over I-470 with a 12-foot wide combined pedestrian bike path to the north side of the bridge at a cost of $776,400, with a combination of the 1.5 cent sales tax revenue, the 2018 and 2019 federal fund obligation authority available for exchange with KDOT, and the Public Works operating budgets years 2018 and 2019.
Commissioners, Town Block, Public Works and Solid Waste. This is a Public Works item. This is in follow-up to some discussion we had a few meetings ago in regards, we currently have a contract with Finium Turnpike to design the Deer Creek Bridge on 29th Street, which is just below the Lake Shawnee Dam, and essentially widen that road from Wittenberg over to Granger Road. In our discussion, well, at the time we'd set up that project, we didn't believe we would have sufficient funding to go to do the whole corridor of 29th Street from the KTA Bridge to Croco. Subsequently, we believe we do have we'll have appropriate funding to do that whole corridor. So this commission gave authorization to expand the scope of that project to widen 29th Street from the KTA Bridge all the way to Croco Road. This contract amendment would provide for the design and construction services and survey staking for that whole corridor. In addition, as you may recall, knowing that Parks and Recreation has a trail extension grant coming from KDOT to bring the Deer Creek Trail from, I think it's like down by Reeser's plant, down toward the south towards Dornwood Park, and trying to set ourselves up for the future. As part of the design of this, we could have Finium Turnpike design for the widening of a pedestrian path on the KTA Bridge, but that would only be the design for the bridge. It would not consider or would not include construction of that bridge. That's where I indicated that it's going to leave it up to Parks and Rec to figure out where the money is going to come to actually have it built, but we would include it just as part of our design contract, since our design consultant's already going to be there doing that work. So if there's any questions regarding that, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Thoughts or questions? Commissioner Cook.
This would be consistent with what we did on 45th Street, where we designed for future a possible trail along 45th Street connecting Landon to Lake Shawnee. Isn't that, I mean, so this is kind of, when we look at the plans, we're looking at consistent planning for the future.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to be doing a road project and we think it's going to be consistent with what Parks and Rec may have doing with pedestrian traffic, pedestrian and bike traffic, we certainly try to incorporate that into it at the same time, so we're not. So we're in conjunction with what they're trying to accomplish, and we're only going there, only having to do construction in an area at one time. So.
Good.
Any other questions?
No. I'll move to approve the amendment to the contract.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item F4, consider approval of request to issue a request for statements of qualifications for lagoon dredging services for Shawnee County Sanitary Sewer Districts Number 2 and Number 6, funded solely by each sanitary sewer district's financial account user's fee.
Commissioners, Town Block again, Public Works and Solid Waste. This is a Public Works item. And as part of the sanitary sewer districts that the county owns and is responsible for operating and maintaining, there are two sewer districts up in the northeast part of the county. One is called Sewer District Number 2, which is essentially at Northeast 51st and Edgewood, and the other one is Sewer District Number 6, which is located in the 37th and Tantera area. Those areas are still serviced by lagoons, and lagoons over time have sediment and sludge build up over the years, and to a point where it reduces its efficiency as far as treatment. So every, I guess, few decades, they need to be dredged and cleaned out to provide more capacity. Each of these sewer districts is funded by user fees of those folks who have their sewage go to these lagoons. And over the years, we have been accumulating funds in anticipation of needing to do these projects and some major repairs. So we do have the funding available in each of these accounts. And it is time to get these lagoons dredged. So it's our recommendation that we'd like to go out and seek statements of qualifications. This is a pretty specialized type of work, so we want to make sure that we get a very qualified contractor that is not just a fly-by-night contractor. So we'd like to acquire statements of qualifications and then make a selection from them and negotiate a contract with who we feel is the most qualified contractor. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to try and answer them.
Very good. Questions regarding the issue?
Just for clarification, $80,000 to $95,000 each, correct?
Yes, and we have,
Is the estimate?
yeah, each, yes, and we have sufficient funds in each account to
Okay.
cover those.
All right, thank
One's,
you.
the reason I say 80 to 95,000, because one's a little bit smaller, I think it's been the lower end, the other lagoon's a little bit larger, and I'm probably more towards the upper end.
Okay, thanks. I'll move approval of the request.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Bueller, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you very
Thank you.
much, Tom. Next item, please.
Item G, corrections. Number 1, consider approval of request for an emergency purchase of a Raypack boiler from PCI Mechanical at a cost of $20,793 with funding from the 2017 budgeted funds.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. Late last month, we became aware of a boiler that provided water or heated water to our laundry services for inmate clothing. It became dysfunctional and it broke. We did call in our contractor, PCI, who did come in. They were able to get it up. We couldn't, well, I'm going to start over. Our maintenance people went down to see if we can do it on our own first. We could not get the system reset, and we could not fix it on our own, so we called PCI in. They came in. They were able to do a temporary fix, but in doing this, they realized that this is a boiler that is pretty close to outliving its expectancy. We did talk to our maintenance people. It's my understanding we did talk to Bill Kroll as well regarding looking at the life expectancy of boilers. They were recommending, all of them that were recommending that it probably is time to purchase a new boiler that funds. It's just a smaller boiler. I did talk to Betty regarding the funds. We do have the funds in our account for this type of thing. And it is an essential, mission-critical area in our facility because for legalities and accreditation standards, we do have to make sure that the inmates are provided with clean clothing and things like that. So with that, I'll stand for any questions you may have.
Questions for Brian?
None.
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Motion made to approve the request by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next item, please.
Item H, appraiser. Number 1, consider approval to post and fill a vacant office assistant 2 position at a salary including benefits of $39,097.68.
Good morning, Commissioners. Steve Bauman, County Appraiser. We have a longtime member of our work family planning to retire December 29th. Glennis Folsom has been an important piece of our office for 20 years. So while we're trying to talk her out of it unsuccessfully, we're still happy that she's able to do this. So this request would be to try and find someone to work up to her caliber over the next 20 years. I have discussed this with Angela, with HR, and Betty, and I believe they are in approval. What we would like to do, she's kind of has some specialized duties, so we'd like to bring someone in about a month before if we can find someone, so we can kind of download some of that information. There is enough money in our current budget to handle that.
Very good. I'll move to approve the request.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Steve. Next item, please.
I, Human Resources, number 1, consider approval of an 8% increase in the employee contribution rate for the 2018 benefit plan year.
Good morning, Commissioners. Angela Lewis with Human Resources. I'm going to get this slide up here and we'll get started. Well, maybe. All right. Our insurance committee met on October 30th and unanimously voted to suggest an 8% employee contribution increase for 2018. Currently, at the bottom, you'll see what we're paying for 2017. Employee only is paying $21 a month. Employee plus child is $189 a month. Employee spouse is $336 a month. And employee family is paying $483 a month. For 2018, we're proposing a $2 increase to $23 for employee only, and an increase of $15 to $204 for employee child, a $27 increase for employee spouse, which would make it $363, and a $39 increase for employee family, making it $522. The committee, with the help of Willis, our consultants, worked very hard to make sure that things were equitable. We did some comparisons. If you look at the top left there, we have what we are currently paying right up here. If you pay attention to the employee contribution right here, you'll see that in comparison to another local county, we're paying far less in employee only, about the same when you start looking at employee spouse versus employee child. There's a little more for employee spouse, but employee child we were paying under, and then for family we're paying a little bit more currently. We are still being more than fair in an 8% increase if we look at what Willis, our consultant, suggested that we pay, which would be just slightly higher. This next slide, the top two, shows what the city are paying, what their employees are contributing. They have two plans that would be similar to what we offer. So if you look at what on this plan, what they're paying $140 for an employee only versus our proposed $23, or $193 for employee only versus our $23. And it's important to let you know that the majority of our employees with the county are choosing employee only. Not that we don't have the others, but more than half are employee only contributions. Down at the bottom here is another local employer that we just keep the name out of, but what they're paying, still higher than what we are. And then when we look at what the state of Kansas are paying, they had a significant increase proposed for 2018. Our annual enrollment will begin November 6th and run through November 15th. You can always sign up online, but we will have meetings that everyone is welcome to attend. On the 8th, we will be meeting at the North Annex and here at the courthouse. On the 9th, at the jail, and on the 14th, at the Health Department and the Law Enforcement Center. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
I have one question. This insurance committee, who are the participants in this committee? I think it's important the public knows that.
Sure. We have, of course, the county counselor. We have Betty in audit finance. We have myself as the core committee. But then we have members from the unions that also participate on the board, and 2 employees at large that participate on the board.
So it's a wide-ranging mix
Yes.
of employees, and this increase was voted unanimously.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Other questions? Commissioner Cook or Commissioner Gill?
I believe so.
Just reflecting that there is an increase across the board from Blue Cross Blue Shield's rates for the county. Looking at just the employee only, going from $693 to $804. And so this is an impact to the employees, but it's the brunt of it is being borne by the county. If we look at the county, our contribution rate is going from $672 to $781, and so the county is picking up the vast majority of that impact from Blue Cross Blue Shield. So if you're an employee with family, you're looking at a $20 increase per pay period as opposed to what the county's impact is. So,
Very good.
Do you have
Yes,
one question?
Commissioner Buell.
Not too long ago, I think we merged the Insurance and Wellness Committee,
We did.
correct? So it's more than just the Insurance Committee, but you tackle both tasks, correct?
We do.
So what types of things are we talking about in wellness for 2018?
For example, for wellness, one of the things that we'll have is telehealth through Blue Cross and Blue Shield. You'll be able to get online and visit with your doctor from your desk if you need to. And it has mental health care as well, counselors that are on duty 24 hours a day to help you with things. We're also looking at TRIA as an option, which will be, they help us with the pharmacy and make sure people that have chronic diseases, that all of their their medicines are being taken accurately, and we offer some discounts for diabetic care and things like that. We're also looking at just awareness. There'll be, you've probably already seen a lot of emails coming out about health and wellness and things that you can do to be better. So as we actually use our consultant more, they're going to be on staff to help us with that.
Very good. Thank you for bringing that
Thank you.
up, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I'll move approval of the new rates.
A second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Buell. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Angela. Next item, please.
Item J, Commission, number 1, consider approval of the appointment of Matthew R. Simpson to the Community Corrections Board.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Buell. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Item 5, Administrative Communications.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kellen Seitz, Inspector of Venue Management, Kansas Expo Center. Although we missed our official announcement on Monday for the commission meeting, but we are excited that we announced Monday Championship International Ice Racing. That's dirt bikes and four-wheelers that race on top of the ice. So that should be an exciting event for us. That comes in December 15th. There is an amateur class if you have any
Yeah, right.
if you have any interest in participating.
No commissioners on ice.
Yes, that again is December 15th. Pre-sale started yesterday at 10 a.m. and continues to tomorrow at 9:59 a.m., where the public on sale will then take place starting at 10 a.m. tomorrow. We finished up some great events this past weekend with Keisha State High School volleyball and the Armed Services Rodeo. We have another busy weekend this weekend with the United Rodeo Association Finals. That'll be tomorrow through Sunday evening at Dome Arena. The Holiday Food and Gift Mart will take place on Saturday and Sunday inside Exhibition Hall. The Spirit, Mind, and Body Fair will take place also Saturday and Sunday inside Ag Hall. And the Roadrunners return this Saturday and Sunday for 2 games at 7:05 p.m. And then next week, we're already gearing up for one of the biggest events that we have at the Expo Center of every year, and that's the Blizzard Bash Super Bowl of Demo Derbies. So happy to answer any questions on any of that.
Very good. Any questions?
Thank you.
Kellen?
Thank you.
Thank you, Kellen.
Good morning, Commissioners. Randy Luby, Parks and Recreation. Just a reminder that Lake Shawnee will be open at 6 a.m. for all fishing. We have been closed for fishing for the past week for our annual trout stocking. Very pleased with the article we had in the Capital Journal a week or two ago regarding our trout program that started back in 1979 by former Commissioner and Director Ted Inslee. And we had great publicity last week on the actual stocking, and there was quite a few good-sized trout in that was being stocked. So we welcome everybody to come out, and they do need a permit, but come on out on Saturday morning.
Very good. Thank you, Randy.
Where do we get the permits?
The Wildlife and Parks offices supply them, and you can pick them up there.
So for the trout permit, we go to Wildlife and Parks?
Correct.
And for a fishing license, we go?
Wildlife and Parks also.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioners, Tom Block, Public Works and Solid Waste. Just a reminder to everyone that next week is Veterans Day on Friday, or we'll be celebrating Veterans Day on Friday. So that will have an impact on our solid waste collection schedule, and this is the type of holiday on the day, and since it's on a Friday, it tends to, more people have issues with this because we're moving people's collection days up a day in the week. So for next week, Monday and Tuesday customers will have no change. However, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday customers will all have their collection days moved up a day. So Wednesday customers will be picked up on Tuesday, Thursday customers will be picked up on Wednesday, and Friday customers will be picked up on Thursday, and then there will be no collections on Friday. So we will be getting more information out to the media, but this is, like I said, whenever we're moving people up a day, it always causes more of an issue than being back a day, because they can just leave it out. But so anyway, that is going on. And then also regarding solid waste, it's the first Saturday of the month this Saturday, so we will be having our Saturday collection event at the Household Hazardous Waste Facility, and that again is located at 131 Northeast 46th Street. We're there from 9 to noon for the free collection of paints, oils, herbicides, pesticides, compact fluorescent light bulbs, batteries, any kind of furniture polishes, things of that, free of charge. So we encourage and welcome anyone, county residents, to come up and utilize that free service. So, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Tom.
Good morning, Commissioners. Craig Barnes, Health Department. A couple of items that I wanted to share with you. First off, we are hosting our second free flu clinic for uninsured adults this weekend on Saturday. We are doing this in partnership with Tanglewood Health and Rehabilitation. So we're going to be doing it at their offices on Saturday, November 4th from 10 to 2. And their address is 5015 Southwest 28th Street. So we encourage any individuals in the community who don't have insurance to come on out and get a free flu shot. The second item that I wanted to share with you is next week we are going to be starting on Monday a series of community conversations regarding health in our community. We are partnering with Communities Creating Opportunity, and we are going to be doing some community conversations in some of the faith-based communities within Shawnee County. What we're going to be doing here is basically sharing the information that's outlined within our Community Health Improvement Plan and really bringing it to the community themselves and letting them know what's in it. And then we really want to facilitate a conversation with them and have them kind of come back with us with feedback. And really, by looking at it and making sure that the strategies and opportunities for community engagement that we have outlined within our plan are representative of what they perceive as the health issues that they have in their community. So we see this as kind of an evaluative measure for our plan as well, to make sure that we're up to snuff and we're doing what we say we're doing, and that our plans are actually community-based and representative of the issues that the community members see. So our first session is going to be Monday, November 6th. It's going to be from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m., and it's going to be at New Mount Zion Baptist Church. And that is 2801 Southeast Indiana. So that's going to be the first one, and then we're going to be doing one on Thursday, November 9th. It's going to be over the lunch hour, so we can kind of give people an opportunity, whether it's in the evening or at lunch, to come and kind of voice their opinions. And that's going to be at the Antioch Family Life Center. That's 1921 Southeast Indiana. And then we're going to be waiting a month and coming back to those same locations at the beginning of December. Our goal and kind of the timing with this was also to also engage our partners at Heartland Healthy Neighborhoods. So these meetings will be the week before our Heartland Healthy Neighborhoods meeting. So we can encourage residents who do have any feedback to also then attend the following Heartland Healthy Neighborhoods. So if we are able to identify some maybe feedback and issues that they see in their communities, we then can kind of segue them into some of the work groups that are actively working on those issues here in the community. So just a cyclical motion here to kind of help really improve the health of our community. So. Any questions?
Would you repeat the details on the flu clinic?
On the flu, yeah. So the flu clinic is going to be this Saturday, November 4th. Okay. It's from 10 to 2, and we're partnering with Tanglewood Health and Rehabilitation. It's going to be at their offices, and it's for uninsured adults. So that is adults that are 19 years of age and older.
And what was the address again?
The address was 5015 Southwest 28th Street.
Okay, very good. Thank you,
no
Craig.
problem.
Any questions for Craig?
No.
I think that's important, obviously, that everybody gets a flu shot.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Commissioner Cook.
I believe that this weekend, we have daylight savings time change, and it's a good time to check your batteries on your fire alarms and make sure you do those fall preparations and make sure you're ready for the winter and the snow, which has already been here.
Commissioner Bueller.
I'm working on about 3.5 hours of sleep, so just got back from Phoenix, where I missed the snow, but, which was good. It was like 80 degrees there, so it was beautiful. That was part of a trip. Our community usually takes an intercity trip, and we went last year to Des Moines. This year, they decided to do something different, and we attended a CEOs for Cities conference in Phoenix, Arizona, where we got to talk to multiple cities, people from all across the nation. Talked about some emerging challenges with all of our communities, and so it was well worth the time. We had about 30 people from our community attend, so well worth the time, definitely. So they have a spring and a fall conference.
Very good. Thank you for attending that. I know there was a rumor you were in Garden City sometime over
Yeah, well, that too, yeah.
Past few days.
Garden City to Phoenix. It's not much sleep, so I'll enjoy that extra hour.
Good, good. Yeah, thank you for attending
Sure,
that, Commissioner.
sure.
I really appreciate that. I don't have anything else to add, so next item, please.
Item 6, executive sessions.
There's not a need for an executive session today, so we're officially adjourned. Thank you for coming today.